So according to many, Lifeweaver feels a little clunky to play on controller, especially in Overwatch 2. However, there has been a swift response to this from the devs, and changes are being made to the hero to make his kit a lot easier to control. What is up everyone, it's CMG here, so let's talk for a little while about Lifeweaver and what I think of him so far since his release. You all need to remember one thing before I continue on. This is strictly my opinion, and I don't expect anyone to have the exact same thoughts and feelings as I have. There are lots of different players out there that react to things in completely different ways, and I wouldn't expect anyone to agree with what I could be talking about in this video, so keep that in mind. Before we dive into everything though, I'd like to remind you once again, if you like this idea for content and you want to see more in the future, go ahead and click on the subscribe button, send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. For those of you that have done it already, thank you. I highly appreciate you. So to start off with, the first thing I want to talk about is his control mechanics. I firmly understand other players when they say his weapon transition is extremely tedious and can be annoying at times. When I'm playing on PS4, I have the weapon transition bound at default to right on the D-pad. The immediate problem with this is that left on the D-pad is what I use for callouts. So when I'm in the heat of the moment and I'm getting dove on and it requires me to have a fast reaction to switch to my defensive weapon, I accidentally throw out left on the D-pad and I accidentally use a callout when I mean to go right to get my weapon out and then defend myself. I've done this a few times and it's pretty damn annoying. The problem here is that my brain is so false habited on using left to call out, but then I forget I need the weapon to do damage, hence the fast reaction time is required. One other support hero in the game that requires said weapon swap using a D-pad is Mercy, but the difference with her is that you always want to be using your healing staff and only get the pistol out if DPS are right up in your face and trying to eliminate you. At least with Lifeweaver, you have a weapon that can be somewhat of a poke damage mechanic to charge your ultimate faster, and you want to be using that more times than Mercy's pistol. So then, when his weapon swap is bound to an extra button press, I can understand why people say this is bad control design. To fix this, rather than a button press to swap weapons, why can this not be bound to a button that when pressed instantly transitions from healing to damage, and then you can deal said damage and then transition immediately back to healing stance? I think this would be much easier. In fact, there is actually a separate game mode that someone has made in the workshop that instantly showcases this transition off. Now, speaking in PC control terms, the damage output is bound to left click, while healing moves over to right click, and spacebar is what you would use to trigger his dash, much like Hanzo's lunge. There's no weapon transition bound to a single button press, and it feels a lot easier to control. I've tried this and it's pretty good. I highly recommend you give this a try yourself if you haven't already. This is the code to put in, and this is the individual who put this all together.
Ooh.
Now, amidst all this, however, thankfully, we have had a quick response to this community feedback, and Keller has taken to Twitter to confirm that changes will be made to Lifeweaver to help fix his control mechanics to help him flow better in the game. The devs are looking to add, in Keller's own words, alternative control methods to both Lifeweaver's dash and weapon swap to help eliminate the clunkiness of everything I discussed earlier. But when you look past Lifeweaver's control problems, he still has some healing output issues as well. I feel at the moment, Lifeweaver isn't healing all that much compared to other heroes in the game. For example, there was one game I played recently where I found myself in a choke point on Esperanza, and I was required to try and heal as much as possible because my other support had been taken out. So I had to heal by myself, and even a fully charged heal isn't enough to keep at least 2 of my teammates alive during a pretty heated scrap that requires me to act fast. Something I can do quite easily with other heroes I'm able to play really well, like Ana. I reckon perhaps an increase in his healing output would make him much easier to use. Also, I think his dash is a little too short. I think he needs to move a lot longer distance. Not as long as Moira's Fade or Hanzo's Lunge or anything like that, but it needs to be enough to evade oncoming enemy DPS that intend on eliminating you. Right now, his dash is far too short in range, and I think this needs to be tweaked a little bit so that he can move a lot longer distance. Now, his Life Grip ability is actually pretty fine to me. You know, a lot of people right from the very beginning were worried about this being a big standout mechanic for anyone who wanted to troll other players on their team by, you know, dragging them into the well on Ilios, or just generally dragging someone off the map just to try and be funny and not be serious with the game. But more often than not, the ability is actually pretty useful in order to prevent someone who's about to die. You can just drag them away from that situation and then keep them alive, and then you can apply your healing to them. The amount of times it's actually helped me in a pickle is pretty relieving, and of course vice versa. I think there was one time on Junkertown, if I remember correctly, I noticed my Sigma teammate getting charged by a Reinhardt on the, I think it was the 3rd checkpoint, and then I dragged him away at the last second because he was about to get finished off. Honestly, to me, his kit is very useful overall, but to summarize, his controls definitely need to be looked at, which they have spoken about, and they are about to do for the next patch, and his healing output is far too low, and definitely needs to be given more of it. But what do you think? Have you played Lifeweaver yet? Do you wish to share your own opinions about his controls or his kit? Let me know about them all in the comment section down below. So this is going to be the end of the video, guys. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you found it informative. Thank you for watching the content, guys. If you like this idea for a video and you want to see more content in the future, then go ahead and click on the subscribe button, send a comment, like the video, and then turn on your notifications. It really does help me out a great deal. You can also check me out on all of my other social medias, my Twitter account, my Discord, and of course, my TikTok. Thank you for stopping by, chabs. Have a great day. Have a great life. Be nice to your fellow gamers because we're all human beings. I've been CMG as always, and until the next video, I shall see you later. Peace.